In the early centuries of Islamic history, a city emerged along the Nile that would shape the future of Egypt. Its name was Fustat. For nearly 500 years, it served as a political, economic, and cultural center, connecting Africa, the Middle East, and beyond. Today, however, very little of this once thriving city remains. Its disappearance was not the result of a natural disaster, nor a foreign invasion alone, but a deliberate decision made at a critical moment in history. This is the lost city of Fustat. Fustat begins in the 7th century during the early expansion of the Islamic world. Following the Muslim conquest of Egypt, led by Amr ibn al-As, a new administrative center was required. Rather than occupying older cities like Alexandria, a new settlement was established inland along the eastern bank of the Nile. This settlement would become Fustat. Its location was strategic. It allowed control over trade routes while remaining secure from naval attacks. Over time, the city expanded rapidly. Mosques were constructed, markets developed, and diverse communities began to settle within its walls. At its height, Fustat was one of the most important cities in the region. Trade caravans arrived regularly, bringing goods from across Africa and Asia. Textiles, spices, and precious materials were exchanged in its esawak. The city also became a center of learning. Scholars and jurists contributed to the development of Islamic thought and administration. By the 10th and 11th centuries, Fustat had grown into a densely populated urban center, reflecting both wealth and influence. However, like many great cities, Fustat's prosperity was not permanent. Political instability began to affect the region. Competing Akua and shifting alliances weakened central authority. At the same time, external threats were increasing. The Crusades had begun, and the Eastern Mediterranean had become a zone of continuous conflict. Egypt, due to its strategic importance, became a primary target. As Crusader forces advanced, the khatar of invasion became more immediate. By the mid-12th century, the situation had reached a critical point. Crusader forces were approaching Egypt, and Fustat lay directly in their path. The ruling authorities faced a difficult choice. If the city were captured, it would provide the enemy with resources, infrastructure, and strategic advantage. In response, a drastic decision was made. The city would be evacuated and then destroyed. Fires were set across Fustat. Contemporary accounts suggest that the burning continued for several weeks, consuming homes, aswaq, and public buildings. The destruction of Fustat marked the end of one of the earliest Islamic capitals in Egypt. What had taken centuries to build was lost in a matter of weeks. The Medina never fully recovered. Over time, nearby Cairo rose in prominence, eventually replacing Fustat as the Merkez of power. Today, the remains of Fustat are limited, and much of its history survives only in written records. Its story offers a significant historical lesson. Cities are not only shaped by external forces, but also by the decisions made within them. In the case of Fustat, its nihaya was not sudden, but the result of a calculated choice made in the face of uncertainty.